Hello and welcome back to my second track guide here for the season. We're at Brands Hatch in the UK, down there in Kent, and this is our round two, or what will be our round two this weekend. So I have covered these before, this one before, so you could always go back and have a look, but I'm going to do it again because, as I say, we have new drivers and stuff that might benefit from this. Not about lap times, just about how to try and get round as quickly as possible. So heading down to the across the line and in towards turn one at Paddock Hill Bend. So here we go, staying over to the left hand side. Now right on the brow of the hill, probably not that, maybe at that marker there on the left hand side, that white block that you can see is where you're going to start to just lift off a little bit, just to try and aim for the apex. Now obviously it's cambered here, so you've got to be a bit careful, and obviously the exit also is quite narrow here and can end up overshooting it and running it out into the sand. So just trying to roll it in. I mean, I'm very wide at this point, trying to pick up the second part of the apex, so quite wide at the first part for me, and then trying to pick it up the apex, but quite wide all the way around actually, so I might have messed it up a little bit. But this is where I'm saying with the big drop and with the camber down and that big sand pit there on the left hand side, that you've got to be a bit careful, although you can take all of that green there on the left over the other side of the curb. So try and get as much speed through there on the exit as you possibly can as you head uphill now towards Druids. At the bridge is where you want to start to brake and change gear. Now again, this is a kind of a rolling right hand up again with kind of two apexes. So you get that first one, you can either keep it tight and just run it around the inside, or you can come out a little bit wide and then try and square it off and then come out the exit here. Again, you can use all of that green on this on the other side of the curbing. Now this is slightly raised here, so you've got to be a little bit careful that the car doesn't bottom out right on the edge there. And I've got the hiccup, so that's handy, just as I'm recording my stuff. So yeah, apologies for that, but you can use all of that green. Just be a little bit cautious, don't go giving it the full beans through there. Just roll it through down the other side. Now switching right across to the right hand side for this next left hander. Now this one down to about second or third gear, trying to clip that inside curb as much as you can to then use all of this curb over here. Now this is quite forgiving over here, a lot more runoff the other side of this red and white curb this time. Again, you've still got to be a bit careful, because you can see that real ridge on the top of the curb in between the green and the curb itself, that if you catch it wrong, it will or it can throw the car off, and you'll probably be over on the left hand side over there against the barrier. So you've got to be a little bit careful, so you don't want to take too much, but you can run it all the way through, all the way along this curbing. In fact, you could probably even use part of that escape route there on the right hand side as you exit off of the curbs. So very forgiving there. You can use quite a lot of that curb on the right hand side. So up to the next left hander, keeping it to the right. And then again, this is a blind left hander. You can't see the corner really. You obviously can see the apex, but as you come round, it's again quite a long apex, and this is where I try to go for the second part of this, trying to hug that inside line. So the first part start out wide, and then just kind of head right into this corner here of this apex. Do not go over the curb though if you can help it. And then out the other side, again, you can use a little bit of that curb. You don't want to be going over it really. You can use the red and white. You don't want to be using too much of that dirt over there on the right hand side. So through there. Now this long straight, the back straight all the way down, doing it right up to sixth gear under the bridge. And at the second marker there, which is just out of shot, but it's there to the left, is where you want to start, right where the timing line is actually, is where you want to start to lift off and to concentrate on getting your braking right. Now this one you can run it through. It's quite, you can almost feather it through here. You don't have to go right the way down the second gear, just almost just one gear down, maybe fourth gear through here. But you've got to kind of get a little bit of a lift as you go through here, because you can use a little bit of the inside. Again, there's not much runoff there at all, so you don't be using too much grass, but try and clip it. The trouble is on that outside curb, there really isn't a lot of room out there. You can use it, you can run along it, but you've got to be a bit careful not to go too wide. Fortunately, I'm quite narrow here, so it didn't really affect me. Now this next right-hander, again blind, but you can see basically where you're going to go. Now this, you can use all of it. I'm literally, look where I'm turning. I'm literally heading the car straight across the top of all of this curbing. Now you don't want to give it fall through here either. Just let it float through here. Don't give it any acceleration or throttle. Just let it roll across the top here, because if you do, yeah, it's not going to end well. So just roll it through. Just let it drift across, all the way across. You can use that curb on the left to about as close as you can get to the gravel. Don't want to be in that, because that will put you, well, just stop you, won't it? So you don't want to really be touching that. Down through into Dingle Dell. Again, you've got to be a little bit of curve in here that you can use just to keep your speed up. And up to the top here through Surtees, and look at that. Look, this is probably the hardest corner out of the lot, but you just kind of again, just lift it, maybe go down A gear. And again, you can use all of it. So look where I'm heading, straight across the top. And again, it's similar to a couple of corners where the couple of corners back where we just let it float across there. Just let it float. This one's this is a lot more trickier though. You can see the high curbs because it's tricky, is because you've got absolutely no runoff on exit. So if you get it right, it's beautiful. If you get it wrong, you'll be cutting the grass out there for the gardeners. So switching it across to the right for this next left-hander. Beautiful corner, this one. This one, if you can get it spot on, feels lovely. Bit of camber on this one, so if you really, it's like a roller coaster through here. Just take that inside curb, give it the full beans now, at the outside, going out now towards clear ways there on that marker 1 is where you want to start to brake and change down. Just try and feather it through here, trying to get as close as you possibly can to the red and white. Let it drift out. Try not to go too far, because obviously all that gravel out there, you don't want to be there. So just let it drift though. Use as much as this very wide corner, so you've got a lot of track to play with. You just got to just let it go. Just click that outside and then across the line for the lap. So let's go through here now. I'm going to put the speed opener on, and you can see up to Druids. Right camera here, aren't I? Let's go into the right camera, would help. And a second, use all of this curb as much as you possibly can. Let it drift over to 4th gear, and then a quick shift back down to second, clipping that inside. Let it feel its way out through the gears now, right the way up the gearbox along this back straight. You don't get to 6th actually, just 5th, bang. 1 gear, as I said, just drop it down to 4th, let it feather it through, let it go through there, down to 3rd, use all of that, click that, just let it run a little part of that left hand curbing up through Dingle Dell. Now this is the one, down to 3rd, just a big lift there actually. You just got to let it, as I say, roll through there. This one, beautiful, look at that, how much time you can actually make through that corner and then into the final corner. Again, just a little lift, freed it out, use all of the track, and then to the checkered flag. So that is your Brands Hatch track guide. Hope it will help some people. And well, I've left it a bit late, to be fair. It was not long before we actually raced around here, so it doesn't give you a lot of time to practice if you need it. But I mean, I'm pretty sure most people know this track inside out anyway. But if it can be of help, then obviously, well, that's the whole purpose. So enjoy, and I will catch up with you soon. Bye for now.